dialed is not in service at this time.
Welcome to the Red Pill Show.
All right, good morning, kids. Welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is Sunday, October 25th, 2020. This show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please use it at your own risk. The show is copyrighted by me and Freedom Revolution Network. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form without our written consent, or you can just ask. Finally, the show is opinionated under no circumstances whatsoever. Should opinions be taken as advice? If you're seeking professional advice, we strongly encourage you to hire a license if required person in his or her field there, little Tommy. Hey, man. No. That's his name. Broadcasting live from the wonderful 100% open with safe distancing and social distancing and all that crap from the wonderful state of Florida. So how's it going, man? I'm trying to figure out how to get my face on this YouTube crap, but it's not cooperating. Edit audio. No, I don't want to do that, but let's see. This is when your camera's off. Okay, it'll be that. How do I get rid of Liberty Librarians crap? Okay, I have the camera on. It's on. I see me, General. Camera. I gotta get that wall painted. I really don't want to do that today, though. I have just been busting my ass, which I'm going to share. Uno momento. Yeah, I can't figure it out. Why is that not solo layout? I don't know. That's what I get for doing a show once a week. I really don't know, man. Stop cam mic. Charles. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really pissing me off. I always have technical difficulties. Banners, brand. I don't want any of that shit. Video clips. Liberty Librarian, that's her. The original Red Pill Show. There I am. Hello. There I am. Nice to see me. Okay, I like that. So, welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Wow, today is Sunday. You all should be in church. I don't have myself centered. See, because number one, there's a big ugly electrical panel there. And number two, this whole my left, your left is going to be a green screen. La, 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 la. I have to now open up. Da 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 da. Phone. What? Guess I'm trying to sign in. Do. Yes. They're making this impossible to do anything anymore, including just signing into your own email account. Not to mention now, I need your phone, passcode, your date of birth, serial number, that's coming, RFID serial number, and your global ID tag. And your firstborn, just to get on the internet to do a dumb fucking show. All right, so what's going on? Call-in numbers 815-290-0912. I will put that in the Podbean chat room. Call-in number. What are you all doing? Call-in number is 815-290-0912. There's that. Send. Click send. And then let's go back into the StreamYard crap. That's always hard to figure out. Or let's center me. So if you want to look at the electrical panel, I want to get a picture for that though. 'Cause it's ugly. Maybe if I have 6 beers, it'll look prettier. Works for women. Let's see. Hey, Total Vagabonds. How's Ireland? How you doing? What's the weather there anyway? Because I'm going to kind of be an asshole in this show. Probably most shows. The weather is just phenomenal here. I'm looking at what's going on in Colorado, where I moved from. Place is on fire. Breaks my heart. And it's snowing, and it's like 86 degrees here. Now, I can't express. It'd be like taking an Eskimo out of his environment or her environment for their whole life and then shoving them in the Bahamas or Florida or whatever. Or vice versa. Taking somebody from, I'm good. I'm really good. Or taking somebody from warm weather, hot weather, and shoving them in an igloo. It's just like, it still baffles my mind. So with that, and then I'm watching the weather going on back in Illinois, where I'm originally from, and then Colorado, and then now Florida, and I'm like, I could care less if I ever see another snowflake. For as long as I live. Fucking ridiculous. Sorry. Why? And it just shows how stupid I am. Why would you willingly live where you can freeze your fucking ass off? I don't know. I've done much stupider things in my life. But now I'm just looking at that and I'm like, it's surreal because, like I said, I've been on my motorcycle. I've been going to the pool. I've been doing, it's like endless summer here. And then I get on Sling that I use for my TV programming, and the weather It's not the Weather Channel, but it's the Weather Channel. Channel is weather. And I'm just seeing this shit on fire. And it's cold as fuck. And it's snowing. And it's like, what's going on? Oh, my God. All right. So I'm doing Mucho Bueno. I came on here to school all you guys on Sunday. You should be in church. What's wrong with you? And I just wanted to let you all know we're all going to hell. So that's the end of the sermon. I hope you have a great day. The collection plate will be passed around. You can also make donations to Freedom Revolution Network for that wonderful knowledge and revelation. Because we need it. No, really. Came on here to do a show. And I started my new job. This is Tim's story. Sure. In my neighborhood. Started my job this past week. I have been busting my ass. And that's what happens when you decide to be employed with a brand new company. I don't know if y'all have ever done that, but there's nothing like it. I mean, I am swamp ass. What's up? Trump 2020. Yeah, that was, I don't want to get into politics really at all, but not yet. Not yet. Biden deserves a spanking. That's all I can say. Naughty, naughty, naughty. You need to go into the naughty corner. Shit's not going away. If it does, that's it, man. I mean, there's no rule of law. There's not. There just isn't. There except for us peasants. So, and that's not a republic. So I'm gonna tell you, or democracy for that matter. But I don't want to get into that right now. So nonetheless, it's entertaining. Unlike this show, but I been busting my ass. I'm getting up. I don't want no empathy or sympathy. I'm just trying to do a show and material, number one. And number two, it's deja vu for me when I started my company over 20 years ago. And you just do what you got to do. You work and you work and you get up and you get up at 5. And then you're lucky you can be home and go to bed by midnight. See, because y'all don't know what it's like to start and grow a business. And then a lot of you that do, you don't know what it's like to take the ship to the bottom of the ocean and fail in a business. I do. But be that as it may, we're not going to talk about that side of the coin. We're going to talk about successful and busting your ass and having enough courage to start your own business. And I don't want to get into that because I've talked about that a million times. But I'm back into it now, actually helping somebody do that. And it's just bringing back all these memories. And this guy's doing it with his wife and his young kids. And it's like I'm watching myself 22 years ago. And it's awesome. But I'm getting up at 5:30. And I haven't been getting home until 7:30 p.m., 8:30 p.m. And the record was the other night, 9:30 p.m. So I'm fucking tired, okay? And I get up yesterday and I had plans and I just changed them all. And that's another reason why I haven't done the show at night, because I'm literally not getting home soon enough. I kind of figured I would have enough time at 9 p.m. to get here, do an hour and a half show at the most, and go night-night and go to work. Shows what I know. So anyway, let's go to Podbean Live. Nobody's in the chat room because no one's up. You're all in church, right? You better pray. You better fucking pray because we're all going to need it. But we are broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook. I decided not to play music anymore. For the main reason is because, and when I play my little intros with movie stuff, as far as I know, YouTube's knocking it out. Can't even hear it. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. You don't want anybody to hear some lines from a movie and go, you know what, I haven't seen that for a while. I might rent it. No, you wouldn't want that. And then the music that I play, which I have permission, is all manipulated by an algorithm. It's the best way to put it. Distorted is the best way to put it. It's like, it's just too aggravating. So I would love to play up-and-coming musicians' music and whatever, but it's just not in the cards. And I can't, until somebody lays their foot down, puts their foot down, whatever, or shoves it up someone's ass and says, listen, they have permission to play our material. Quit fucking with it, because we want more fans. It just isn't going to happen. And I've done my best to support up-and-coming musicians. Hollyweird. Man, there's some people talking out of their ass on that one. Just some Twitter feeds. It's just, I'm like, I've actually have unfollowed them because they are ridiculous. And not only that, they're turning on their own friends. There's some, they'll remain nameless, the good and the bad, the positive and the negative. But one even said, you're dead to me, because they supported the president. And that's unacceptable behavior. It's inhuman. Inhumane. Like building those cages that Joe Biden didn't build in his administration. Okay. So we're live on YouTube, Facebook Live, I don't know, all this other shit. Podbean Live. Podbean. The show can be downloaded on Podbean. You can download the app. And a little thingy will pop up and say, the original Red Pill show is on the air. So lucky you. Okay. I'm going to share statistics because I just poked my head into them for the month of October. Now, these are downloads. This is not live streams. I don't know what that is. I know what live streams are, but I don't know what the numbers are. And originally when I started this show, believe it or not, 12 years ago, 2008, meltdown, which is happening again. All this stuff's happening. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. It's all starting to pop in my head. I'm getting woken up here. And not in the fact of wake the fuck up. I mean, waking up literally from sleeping. And my brain is starting to fire on all cylinders here. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin just briefly. Some references that I would like you to consider listening to. I mean, we have less than 10 days. What? 9 days, 8 days to the election? And I think there's some things that you, definitely me, and I do keep an eye out. Not to mention, I'm learning to teach myself to speak Spanish. There's a lot of Hispanic and there's a lot of black people, not African Americans, so that's not the right term, but there's one guy is from the Bahamas, and he talks like this, man. It's from Jamaica, man. I'm like, that's so fucking cool. I love it. The diversity down here, I didn't expect it, and I miss it because in Colorado, at least in Loveland, there's nothing but a bunch of fucking white people. So, yeah, if you're going to title me a racist, I guess I don't like white people. All depends on what you want to hear and how much you want to take out of context. I really don't care. I like multicultural, multi-diversity people, places, things, whatever. And I call them the way I see them. And I love it. I'm already getting pleasantly surprised down here. When I was in Loveland, I was there for 2.5 years. I could count on one hand how many black people, including a friend of mine at the time, that were there living. And one day I was in Target shopping, okay? And there was this woman there with her 2 kids or 3 kids, black lady. And I got so excited. I'm like, oh my God, there are black people here. And I almost went up and gave her a hug, and she would have slapped shit out of me. What the hell are you doing, white boy? Mm-hmm. Sorry, ma'am. I just haven't seen black people for so long, and I miss it. I take that back. There was a black guy at work. But, I mean, it's work. You know, I didn't really pay attention to that. I was looking at my surroundings on my personal time, and I was just so happy. And I'm so happy here. But a lot of people speak Spanglish and Spanish. And I don't like not knowing to be able how to communicate. So there's this, I looked up Rosetta Stone and I looked up apps on my phone, and they all want you to join their monthly membership crap, and I'm not doing that. So I got on YouTube and I started last night, and you can learn Spanish while you sleep. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm sure one day I'm just going to have an epiphany and I'm going to go, holy fuck, I just understood what you said. Because I figure if a kid can learn just by surroundings and osmosis, they can learn a language in 2 years. I better be able to a lot quicker than that. So that's what I'm going to do at my age. Not that it has anything to do with it, but I'm going to learn Spanish. So how do you like that? Okay, because I want to fit in. Not that I want to fit in. I want to be able to communicate. It would be a better word. All right, so we're going to go to statistics really quick for the world. Just in the month of October. 66 downloads. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, really, for not doing a show, but once a week? Really? But number one's United States, followed by United Kingdom, Canada, Puerto Rico, Guyana, Mexico, Norway, Russia, where the laptop came from, and unknown, which is hopefully maybe firefighters, military, law enforcement, teachers, whatever. You're all heroes to me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, United States of America, number one's Illinois, followed by Virginia, home of John Carter. Florida, Tennessee, Colorado, North Dakota, New York City, New York, Texas, Alabama, Arizona, Washington, and unknown. I mean, people don't want their IP addresses apparently known, whatever. And then Ontario, Canada, 4. Wow, thank you very much. Love Canada. Love it. And then nobody from Australia. That's because you're all on lockdown. You can't do shit.
Or you shall be arrested and thrown in prison for the rest of your life. Okay.
So that's that. So what else? What's going on? Nobody in chat room. That's fine. Nobody's awake. Probably not. I don't really fucking care. You can listen to this on YouTube or whatever you want to do. Okay. If you don't vote for Biden, you're not black. So he says. I can't vote because I am not registered here. I'm got to get my residency. I picked a really bad time to move, but you know that. Well, from that perspective, for voting, no, I can't. I can't. Lockdown in Ireland, really? I'll give my perspective on Florida. Now, Florida's 100% open for business, as usual, normal, whatever that means. So when I got here, I'll just be honest, I just figured everybody's like, well, fuck the social distancing and, life goes on, everything's going to be back to normal. It's not. It's still masks. It's still social distancing. And one thing that I found out is, with me personally, psychologically, my psyche on this is I quite honestly don't have a problem doing the social distancing and the mask thing as long as it's not militant, or you're going to come arrest me if I'm not wearing it, or look at me like Jack the Ripper, I don't want to kill people. I don't have a problem doing it. Because common sense, okay? We can argue the scientific proof or their lack of that masks work and they don't and whatever, and social distancing. It might be all a crock of shit. I don't know. I don't know. But if you're going to give me my life back and we're open for business 100%, and I'm not going to put on lockdown or be arrested or whatever, nothing short of Gestapo tactics, I'm in. So what I think that does, at least for me, it's like, well, Tim, I'll meet anybody halfway on anything. So if you wear the mask and you practice social distancing without being a fucking lunatic, we'll give you your life back. And I'm not saying that's what they said or the state of Florida said that. This is me talking. That's fair and reasonable. Because when I moved here, people are like, well, Florida's got a lot of cases and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get into that either because they're doing testing like a motherfucker. So the more testing they do, the more positives that are going to come up. I'm more concerned about the death rate, the mortality rate of this thing. And that's actually, from what I know, going down. That's all I care about. And I would rather die taking a risk in getting this thing, if I die, than sitting in my fucking apartment or my house or whatever, going absolutely batshit, stir crazy, and losing my mind and dying from the inside on lockdown out of fear and non-compliance. I will take my chances. That's me. That's me. I mean, really think about it. We all take a chance and a risk the moment you walk out the fucking door. You take a risk stepping in the bathtub and on the tile floor in your bathroom. There's nothing stopping from you slipping a brick in your neck, hitting it on the sink. There's nothing stopping from you getting harmed or God forbid, killed on your car, your motorcycle when you're going out to work. But nobody says that. Well, that's just the way it is. It's life. No shit. Hey, Dave, what's up? What's up? I can't play music no more, dude. Everybody's being an asshole. Asshole. I mean, I literally saw the show on YouTube because I was surfing YouTube. And Freedom Revolution popped up and my show did. So I clicked on it. And my whole intro and everything in music's gone. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not playing movie clips anymore. I'm not playing music anymore. I'm just playing my stupid intro that I made 10 years ago on a MacBook and GarageBand. And that's all you're going to get. Plus the little countdown thing. I like that. That's pretty cool. This is just me talking. Okay? If you haven't figured this show out yet, or me, I'm not going to come on here like CNN or Fox News or anything and tell you what to think and the way things are, because they're fucking all nuts. They're delusional. You think I'm crazy. These people have gone off the deep end. They don't even have a sense of... They just said last night, CNN, because I like keeping an open perspective on other people's opinions. CNN said Biden's way out front. Trump can't catch up. And Trump has the lowest popularity rate in the history of any president. Then I'm watching Fox News this morning, or was it last night? And they're saying President Trump is up by 1, 2, 3 percentage points for every state they showed in the polls right now. So what planet are we living on? Really? And when are we going to fuck up that planet too? But I'm not one of those guys. I never will be one of those guys. I'm just saying my opinions in perspective to make you think, to figure out yours. I don't know which one's true. And you know what? I really don't care, because a week from Tuesday, we're going to find out what, well, I guess that could be the reality if there's no corruption involved or fraud in the voting system. It's gonna be something, man. Wow, that's water. Swear to God, went down the wrong pipe. Oh, sorry. So I don't want to give too much attention to me choking to death. Oh man, this might as well have been vodka, for Christ's sake. Tequila, actually, I would prefer. Whoa, dude, holy shit. No, you got that right, Dave. Big things are coming. So, if you listen to the show, I'm sure you've heard me talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is on a tear. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just making statements. Max Kaiser is great for Bitcoin. Crypto Casey, boom bust. It's starting to hit mainstream. Bitcoin's an interesting, even if you never buy a Satoshi in your life, because what it's going to do is it's going to teach you how money really works. And it's something you may not want to know. But Bitcoin is fascinating. Whoever came up with it, the system, and there's a book called The Bitcoin Standard. Great book. Highly recommend it. Great book. Predictions of it hitting $20,000. Predictions, not by me, off of YouTube. Predictions, $20,000 a coin. Right now it's like $13,000, right under. Predictions of $100,000 a coin. Predictions of $1 million a coin. I'm only talking about Bitcoin. I'm not talking about Ethereum or Litecoin or any of the other altcoins, alternative coins. None of the DeFi stuff, none of that. Just Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin. It's analogous to, I'm talking about one stock in the entire stock market. You want to look at other stocks? That's your prerogative. I'm talking about one stock, i.e., I'm talking about one thing in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. For the love of God, in your survival, in my opinion, learn about Bitcoin. Now, when I have time, I'm aggressively going to try to get guests on here. and talk about stuff like that. I just can't get anybody to commit because they're all scared to death. You know, if you're not mainstream media, and even if you are, I just saw Peter Schiff got burned by some news outlet media in Australia. So it's like, even if they are a credited news network, their narrative comes out, and he's pretty pissed. I don't blame him. I'm going to go to Twitter real quick and see what the fuck people are talking about. Twitter feed food. It ain't going to be good. I can tell you that. That's why I got off a stupid-ass Facebook. La, 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 la. I'm sure there's plenty of hate. Something is strange. Kirstie Alley. Yeah, she got crucified for supporting Trump. Very brave woman. I don't equate her to Cheers. I didn't like that show. I equate her to Star Trek. I equate her to a sci-fi chick. Oh my God. Mark Dice, prostitute Chelsea Handler offers sex to rapper 50 Cent if he retracts his endorsement of Trump. I think that's already happened. Really? You know, ladies, you all say, all you want to do is have sex and blah, 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 blah. And here right out, she's going out saying, if you don't support Trump, I'm going to fuck your brains out. Really? Wow, Kirstie Alley. She's gotten crucified by people, and it's just the people that have done it to her, I've unfollowed. Because I look at it like you have your right to your choice and opinion in things, but when you start attacking people for theirs, and even then, it wasn't just an immediate reaction. It was, you know what? It's drama. I'm going to stay away from this shit. Pick my battles. But they really, when somebody says you're dead to me now because you're backing the president of the United States, that's a boundary for me. Kirstie Alley says, the last thing I'm going to say this morning is it's okay to be upset. Yes, of course it is. We're happy, we're sad, we're mad, we're glad. The sun goes up, the sun goes down. That's right. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to feel betrayed. You know, that's a horrible feeling. Trust me on that one. It's okay to realize some friends you thought you had weren't friends at all. No shit. What's not okay is to wallow in it and let it stop you. My theory is bawl your eyes out, get the fuck up, and move on. Easier said than done. Oh yeah, you find out in life. This woman, Kirstie Alley's got to be. Oh God, I don't want to be wrong on this. It's just, let's say she's in her 50s. All right, I'm sure. What a horrible thing to deal with when you get in your 50s and you find out who friends, and in some cases, who family really is. It's heartbreaking. I cannot tell you. How painful that is. What a great lady. Yeah, this is just, I mean, Facebook is 10 times as worse with the the hate spewing out of people. Okay, this is ridiculous. I got to comment on this from the debate. I mean, really? Really? This shows the level of intelligence of people, okay? Did at Real Donald Trump just say 545 kids they can't find their parents for came over through cartels and coyotes? How the hell does a coyote bring a whole human across the border? Lord, stop talking. Are you fucking kidding me? And the scary part is, this person isn't joking. A coyote? Are you kidding me? What drugs are these people on?
Oh, far out, man. He said a coyote dragged a Mexican family across the border, man. Oh, what a stupid ass. How do you do that, man? Hey, where's my pot? Far out, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, just more hate, more bum, 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 bum. La 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 la. Yeah, so I really don't want to be Kanye West open to running for California governor on Joe Rogan's podcast. Yeah, I guess he interviewed him. Interesting. Yeah, so, okay, this is the last. Kirstie Alley, she just keeps popping up. I have a peer policy. No matter how crazy my peers' tweets or comments seem to be, I can relate to that. See, you really don't comprehend this stuff until it's happening to you. And I'm sure people are perceiving her like she's a batshit crazy bitch. Okay? I'm sure. Because I heard it. Not that I was a batshit crazy bitch, but it's like, Tim, really? Blah, 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 blah. You know what? You don't know until you know. And some people can relate to that. Because I still have my reservations in finishing my book. Because I can promise you, when I read this thing and people read it, they're going to go, there's no fucking way this shit happened. He's crazy. He's trying to make money selling books. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I have a peer policy, she says. No matter how crazy my peers' tweets or comments seem to be, I don't at them or call them out. Whatever that means. She must have swore. It seems like a pure courtesy that I thought we shared. But apparently it's not. I think I'll take the subject up and chat about it. I would love to interview that woman. I really would. I mean, why the fuck not? You know what? I'm going to tweet her. I'm going to tweet her. Is that what it is? Tweet at her? I mean, I've been using Twitter forever. I'm going to tweet at her. I know what it is. Don't... You are more than welcome. I'm going to tell her this. You are more than welcome to That's what I'm going to tell her. You never know. I mean, I did this with some people, and they actually, not any famous movie star, but she's finding out that after you stand your ground and you wake up and you really see what's going on, really a fucking coyote, I still can't get over that. These people actually think that President Trump met a real coyote, dragged illegal Mexican people across the border. That's what they think. Are you kidding me? Lord help us all. We are just so screwed. But Kirstie Alley's finding out who her friends and family really are, and what a coyote means. This is really sad. I don't know. I don't know what drives people to say you're dead to me now because you're backing up our president and saying you're going to vote for him again. I don't get it. I have had discussions with ultra-liberal friends. Some I'm not friends with so much because they personally attacked me. But it had nothing to do, believe it or not, with politics. And we just had really good conversations. You know, guns kill people. Trump is a racist. He hates. He's xenophobic. He's this. He's that. He's a womanizer. He's this. He's a narcissist. He's a whatever. Okay. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't really see him in that image or perspective that takes my first and highest impression of him. I see him as a leader. I see him as an outsider. I see him as setting an example and not being a corrupt politician. I saw Joe Biden talk. And you know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of someone that has the behavior of a sociopath. And I've heard Alex Jones and other programs, but specifically Alex Jones is calling politicians sociopaths. Not all of them. I'm not painting a broad stroke. But I really do believe that he was up there lying and he thought he was telling the truth. That's a classic example of a sociopath. And then always reacting out of humor. I was watching very closely. And anytime President Trump said something or a confrontation, he would just laugh and deflect. Biden would laugh and deflect. And actually call Trump a liar. The liar calling the person a liar. Very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. I'm not saying he is a sociopath. He said he reminded me of one. The behavior. Very dangerous people. And that scares me because you can't win against those people. The only way you can win is by calling them out, but nobody will believe it. And that's exactly what's going on right now. Nobody believes it. And when you say that, and like Kirstie Alley, she didn't say that, but I'm saying she's saying things and sharing her opinions and supporting the president, she's getting, she's on a witch hunt. She's an outcast. And people in Hollywood, I'm reading Mark Dice's book and how Hollywood influences our political system, and I thought it was going to be a bullshit book, and it's not. It's right on the money. There are messages and narratives in TV shows and movies that are definitely politically intended and motivated. I thought it was supposed to be for entertainment, to get away from that crap. I mean, what's next? The NFL players are wearing Biden and NFL jersey or Trump jerseys. I know they're doing other things, but they're one step away from that. We need an escape. I do. I'm not going to come on here and tell you who to vote for. or who not to vote for. That's how the system works. You do what you want to do, and then we'll deal with it after the election. But I'm not gonna say if either one of them wins, throw them out and revolt. James Wood posted something on here that there were actually letters allegedly on people's doors that had Trump signs in their yards, and they said if Trump doesn't leave office when Joe Biden wins, they essentially were saying they were going to cause them harm to their property and possibly them. Really? Really? It's on Twitter. Just type James Woods and it's there. He shared it. And that is some very scary stuff. All right, what's going on? Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Bonnie, what's up? I had the chat room closed. Kirstie Alley. Yeah, she was great. I hated Cheers. I thought it was a stupid show. I thought it was horrible. And I knew of her on Star Trek, and I thought she was great. So, yeah, all drama. It's all fucking drama. But that poor lady is getting dragged through a horrible experience. And there's nothing worse than you're friends with these people for decades, mostly probably in Hollywood. And they literally say, you're dead to me now. What? If I didn't go through shit like that myself and that, I wouldn't believe it either, but believe it. The people that are closest to you are the ones that inflict the most pain, and they fucking will. Especially when they feel threatened because of an election. So anyway, I didn't really come on here to talk about this crap, but the vibe, I mean, it's really kind of hard not to, and I go with the vibe that's in the chat room, and that's what's going on. Good morning. Oh, people are waking up. Hello, Nadine. Thank you for sharing the show. I encourage all of you to do that so I can have more people call me asshole. Asshole. This crazy guy. Yeah, oops. Hey. Man, I need new equipment. That's it. I'm going on strike. Fuck this, man. We're listening. Digital Money. Can I join you, Nadine? Yeah, you can join me. Let me open up the phone call. You can call in 815-290-0912. Now would be a good time because I was about ready to switch subjects. Because if you call in by the time I'll give you a few minutes to call in because I got to close the screen. I got to jump back and forth. What was that? Oh, I did that. I was riding with my boss, and I didn't forget, but I didn't really recognize that Cape Canaveral in the Kennedy Space Center is like here. Now, I've been a big, huge sci-fi fan, and, well, depending if you believe that the moon shot was real or not, it's a whole different subject. But let's just say it is, and it was, and whatever. I have been, I think I was 5 or thereabouts. I think it was 69 or 70 or 68, 69. I don't know. I was 4 or 5 years old. But I remember watching the moon landing on TV. And I had these books. My parents bought me these books about all that because I was just fascinated with it at that young of an age. And there's a lot of things to be done. I guess you can go to the Kennedy Space Center and they put you in an astronaut suit and zero gravity room and all this shit. And you can fly the shuttle or whatever. And I'm like, that would be so cool. So talking about that, and then I don't know what I was looking for last night. I mean, there's nothing on TV. I'm sick of the politics. I'm sick of the news, the weather, nothing good. And I typed, what did I type? Oh, I typed, is the moon, here we go. This is going to be really weird. Warning. Warning. You're really going to think I'm nuts now. Because there's actually theories about this. The dark side of the moon. There's aliens on it. Whatever. The mathematics are perfect. It's like exactly the third of the size of the Earth, and the orbit's perfect, and all this shit, and the same side faces us the whole time. This is David Icke crap, okay? This is David Icke crap. Whom I don't know is either a genius or a complete lunatic. I don't know yet. I really don't. I really don't. But I typed, is the moon a satellite? And some very interesting shit came up. It's known that when one of the lunar modules took off on one of the Apollo missions, it had to drop something. And when it hit it hit the moon. I might misspeak. It hit the moon. The moon rang like a bell and resonated, and it rang for like 4 hours. Well, the only thing that could do that's metal. So, the moon's always been a fascinating thing to me. And then this guy, I listened to this one guy. I'm so glad I'm open-minded and woke up, because I can listen to this stuff without judgment or go. But this guy was pretty far out there, but I still listened to him. And he knew when he was doing the YouTube video that people just can think he's absolutely fucking crazy. But he said that the moon, we'll put it this way, the Death Star from Star Wars is very similar looking and other things to our own moon. Now, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, okay? And I'm not implying anything, but I thought about that, and I'm like, what the fuck? And depending on what you believe in and what you think and your level of intelligence or insanity, which could be the same thing, why not? Why? I mean, really think about it. If we were so far advanced, okay, and we wanted to keep an eye on another civilization without them knowing, the moon's a fucking perfect way to do that. Don't you think? I mean, forget time travel and aliens and the Greys and all that. They brought them up too, but it's like, well, why would you need that, Tim, if you could do, interdimensional travel and time travel? I was like, yeah, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, you got to stop somewhere sometime, and why not have a close monitoring of a race? I mean, apparently they are concerned, or they just would have annihilated us already. I'm saying if all this is true, this is a really big, fat, deep fucking rabbit hole in Red Pill. And actually, one I've never thought about. One of the few that I really don't care. It's not like I can drive to the moon and look at this fucking thing. Like the Georgia Guidestones and stuff. But just as far as thinking out of the box and go, why not? I mean, would it really be that crazy? I don't think so. I mean, why not? This thing is in perfect orbit. The same side shows all the time. It's been supposedly engineered. David Icke said this thing was engineered. Who engineered the moon? And I think he called it Satellite Moon in a chapter in one of his books. There's a book called, too, Who Built the Moon? By two scientists. I'm going to look that one up because this guy that was squawking brought that thing up. Let me see. Let me find that. Fascinating. I think it's fascinating. I don't think it's a cult or anything. I just think it's very interesting and plausible from the perspective so-called God or people that are way advanced than us and they want to keep an eye on us, the fucking moon would be perfect. I mean, think about it. Or don't think about it. There's enough shit going on, but why concentrate on all negative stuff? And you just might as well go into the totally insane realm and down a very deep rabbit hole on the original Red Pill show and talk about the fucking moon. Why not? Who else is going to? Who built the moon? In books. There it is right there. La, 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 la. Who built the moon? There it is right there. I can share this, right? I can go to... if I can figure this out without screwing things up. StreamYard, share screen. There we go. Share screen. Your entire screen. Yes, make sure there's no porn open on there. No, there's not. Okay. Share. Chrome tab. Who built the moon? Share. Here we go. Who built the moon? February 1st, 2000. Actually, it's my son's birthday. That's really fucking weird. Is there a connection? 2007. The authors of Civilization 1 Return, I don't know who that is, bringing new evidence. This is another person to talk about some shit to interview. Bringing new evidence about the moon will shake up our world. Yeah, not that we got not that we don't have enough stuff to deal with. Christopher Knight and Alan Butler realized that the ancient system of geometry they presented in their earlier breakthrough study works as perfectly for the moon as it does the Earth. See, there's mathematics here that are perfect. Really? That's what I'm saying. They found a consistent sequence of integer numbers that they can apply to every major aspect of the moon. No such pattern emerges for any other planet or moon in the solar system. See, it's a satellite. It's a spaceship. I know it. It is. It's the Death Star. In addition, Knight and Butler discovered that the moon possesses few or no heavy metals and has no core. Well, the thing's got to be made out of something. They were saying titanium. This thing's made out of titanium. Something that should not be possible. The persuasive conclusion, if higher life only developed on Earth because the moon is exactly what it is and where it is, it becomes unreasonable to cling to the idea that the moon is a natural object. It's green cheese. I know. I saw mice on it with my telescope. An idea with profound implications. So I don't know. 4.5 out of 5 stars. 453 ratings. So if you're locked up and going fucking batshit crazy and Twitter and Facebook and maybe even this show is driving you bananas, pick up a fucking book. I mean, this one will make you think. I'm not saying listen to me or read this and trying to convince you, because of course this falls into the flat earth people. That I don't even want to touch with a 10-foot pole. That just does not interest me. But the fucking moon up there that could be the Death Star? Or some type of intelligence monitoring surveillance gizmo? Fuck yeah. I think that's pretty cool, actually. And I've heard more than once that the mathematics are just too perfect. They don't change. There's no variance. The thing is like in perfect synchronicity in orbit with the whatever this planet is, or Mars. That's what we'll call fucking Mars right now. Earth. Earthling. So I don't know. That's something I do because I'm sick and tired of TV, and I'll get on YouTube and I'll check my Atlantis report because I'm keeping a very close eye on the economy and what they're doing. And the Atlantis report is very good for that. And then I'll go to Boom Bust, and then I'll look for Max Kaiser on the Kaiser Report. And then I just run out of shit because I just like, okay, well, what else is there? And then last night I just stumbled on the moon crap. And then one more thing, according to this guy that made a video on YouTube, he says the moon landing and all that, the whole Apollo thing's all fake. It's all fake. He goes, humans cannot travel off the earth. It's impossible. Just can't do it. So he said, this is what he said. The moon has equipment on it at certain resonant frequencies to keep us under control. And the only way that you can visit the moon is through astral projection, psychic abilities. And this guy says and claims he knows people that have done that and can do that. And every time they target or get close or want to go to the moon, they hear a voice that says, no. No. Won't let them close to the moon. Really? All of them? That's like when people do peyote, and I've never done it, or LSD or whatever. They all see the same weird creatures and shit. Well, how can that be? So I don't know. I mean, this is probably way beyond anybody's comprehension as far as us humans, because everything has to be proven with scientific whatever. But nonetheless, why not? I mean, unless you go off the deep end in this and end up in the insane asylum, which I could see this doing that. But even if I found out that it was like the Death Star, I'd be like, well, that's pretty cool. Just don't blow us up. So I don't know. It's enough to intrigue me just from the mathematics. And two scientists found enough motivation and then were intrigued enough to write a book called Who Built the Moon. Okay? It's also on David Icke's. They banned him off of YouTube, so you're probably going to have to buy his books. I forgot what book it was, but there's a book that he says the moon's a satellite. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is, but just another thing to do some research on to get my mind off of this crazy fucking planet right now we call Earth. Okay, Adian, whatever. Sorry. Aiden joined the Podbean chat room. Sohail entered. Suleiman Shah. Hey guys, what's up, ladies? How you doing? I don't know your gender. I'm sorry. It doesn't say it. So, and then back to StreamYard. La, 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 la. Let's see. Morning that lockdown here. Good morning, Tim. Bitcoin is the digital rebel. Oh, I can stop the screen sharing share, right? Okay, there we go. The kids are still cattle to the heartless. Chattel? Is that cattle or channel? What is this? What's chattel? I don't know what that means. To the heartless in this world. Yeah. And a coyote dragged them across the border. I fucking still can't get over that. Violent protests in Seattle and Bellevue, Washington. Let's see. Or if you had to move a primitive population from a dying world, grab a rogue moon, hollow it out, transport the people inside to get them to their new home. I don't know. This is interesting. Michael just shared something in the chat room. I'll just leave this here for your consideration. PM me for more info. David Wilcock. The Ascension Mysteries, cosmic battle between good and evil. Yeah, there's a whole, there's, God, what's the name of those people? Those are the Aphelum, and then there's the Greys, and then there's, there's supposedly a whole galactic frickin' Star Wars that's going on between all these so-called creatures. But, let's face it. If this is, let's just pretend, okay, this is all true, all right? They could annihilate us in a second, but they're not. So, why? I also heard stories, and you have to do your homework on this, that somebody was dumb enough to almost launch an ICBM. I forget the country, I forget the situation, but the point of it was this. We were ready to fire the thing, and a UFO flew right over the missile silo and disarmed the warhead. So, if true, why would they do that? How did they do that? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just another realm to go into. I guess it's like George Norrie shit. I don't know. I never listened. The only time I listened to him is when Scarlett brought him up with time travel guys calling in. That was really fascinating, actually. Time travelers calling in from the future. That was the past. They were in the past. I don't remember what it was. But this stuff always has fascinated me. Oh, Chattel. Chattel? What is that? Sounds like a perfume. A movable article of personal property. Well, that's what we're all becoming anyway, aren't we? After the 14th Amendment was fucking passed, USA is a corporation, and we're all property of thereof. Whatever. It's nothing new to me. All right, so what else is going on? How much time have I been squawking? 3 hours? No fucking way. If that's 3 hours, then I just hit one of those time things. No, it's 1 hour and 13 minutes. Why does it say 3 hours? Huh. That's really weird. YouTube says stream, whatever the hell this thing is. StreamYard says 3 hours. I've been on for 3 hours. All right, so if you want to call in, I don't mind. Otherwise, at the risk of sounding like an asshole, I'm looking at the sun shining. It's probably 85 degrees out there. And I really want to enjoy the rest of my Sunday being outside. So I am going to do that. 815-290-0912. Again, I'm not saying the moon's hollow, it's made out of green cheese, or it's not a fucking rock. It's very interesting to me to say, why not, what if, wow. There's no reason to have fear in this, because if all of that's true, and it is a satellite that's engineered and maintained and operated for whatever reasons by aliens, maybe a coyote dragged them there. We'd be done as it is. But as far as a choke collar or some type of restrictive behavior control gizmo, that's a little concerning, but maybe that's stopping us from blowing us up. But it's not stopping us from being assholes to each other. Do they have an anti-asshole button on that fucking thing? Because that'd be really nice to push. But I'm not trying to say it is or it isn't. And like I said, if it is, there's no reason for fear, because we wouldn't be here. So, just a little sidetrack thing with all the craziness going on to put you in some more craziness and possibly dip your toe or your foot or climb a little bit down the rabbit hole of what the fuck is the moon. I've always been fascinated by it. I've always wanted to talk about it, but then last night it just popped up out of nowhere. And I'm like, this might need a little bit of attention. So there you go. So, all right, no one's calling in. I'm going to end the show. I want to thank everybody for calling in. My apologies for not doing the show on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm really trying to still get used to this time change crap because Mountain Time's 2 hours behind, and I have been working a lot. I promise you, and I swear to God, that I've not gotten home at a reasonable amount of time, and in fact, the other night at 9:30, and I couldn't do the show. Hopefully that slows down a little bit. When any new business opens up, it's busier than shit and chaotic. And I'm helping this guy, my boss, grow his business. So that's my first priority. I went from not working for 2.5 months to working like a motherfucker. And I'm not complaining. It's just that that's my life. Pendulum's to the left, then it's to the right. It's real hard to find a middle ground or halfway. But I don't mind. But my first priority right now is my job. And I'm fortunate enough to have a job. And I'm very fortunate enough to have a state that's 100% open and is using a half a fucking brain to realize that fear-mongering and communistic orders that if you don't comply, you're arrested or whatever happens to you is absolutely absurd. Just causes more problems. I think Florida is a good model for how to handle this thing, especially with the mortality rate as low as it is. I don't want to see one person die, but I really don't want to see people starving to death. And if this shit continues with the economy the way it is, unfortunately, that just may happen. So I'd rather do social distancing, wear the mask without being the Gestapo and the mask police, and do it on an honor system and common sense, and get your life back. Because when you do that, the only risk is you may die of COVID-19. If you lock everybody down and do the militant Gestapo shit and lockdowns and 50% occupancies and laying people off and losing their jobs and furloughs and blah, 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 well, you may die of COVID-19 and you may starve to death. So which one do you want? And it's a big reason why I came to Florida. Not to mention there's outside dining. I hear when it gets 50 degrees here, people freak out. It's like pretty much year-round outside dining. You're not going to get that anywhere but maybe extreme Southern California, Arizona, maybe Atlanta. I doubt it. But definitely Florida and definitely Phoenix or Southern Arizona. Maybe part of New Mexico. I don't know. I just watch the weather and I see where it's warm right now. And I'm really going to pay attention when it's warm in December. But outside dining is going to go bye-bye. Illinois is going to hell. Colorado's going to hell. It's on fire. And it's really a shame because I was right at the bottom of the mountain of Estes Park, and Estes Park is on fire. And it's destroying everything. Breaks my heart. But I was lured to Florida. It's been almost 2 weeks on Tuesday. It's a wonderful state. It's my honeymoon stage. I understand that. But I came here because of the leadership that I recognize, which is the correct way to handle this pandemic. I could see if every other person was dropping dead and it was that big of a deal, but that's not the case. We are actually fucking ourselves. And that's one thing that I am not going to be a contributor to is fucking myself. There's enough people out there trying to get you. Just ask Kirstie Alley and go to Twitter. And it's just horrible. I refuse to be around dysfunctional people. I don't care who they are. I don't care what degree of separation they are from me. I actually just told my daughter that, who I haven't heard from in over 2 years, 2.5 years. And I've told every other family member that too. I don't care who you are. I am not going to be involved with dysfunctional people. Period. Think for yourself. Be a good human. Use common sense. And mind your own business and don't go out hurting anybody. And put a collar or a muzzle on your mouth with anything that spews out hate. I'm really concerned, regardless of who wins the presidential election, that people are just going to misbehave. And that really concerns me. I don't know what you can do. I mean, I'm just short of jumping on a sailboat and heading for the Bahamas. I'd rather take my chances of getting eaten by a fucking shark or swallowed up by a storm or by a whale than watch people destroy themselves. But unfortunately, I really think that's going to happen, and I hope it don't. Worry about you. Whatever you believe in, say it loud and proud. Keep an open mind. Do your homework. Don't be indoctrinated. Forget everything you learned in school. There's a guy that's a green guy that's, well, he's actually black, but he's green in this industry, and he's going to school. And I said, school is wonderful, but I said, learn everything you can and forget all of it because it's not applicable in real life, even in this industry. Math, grammar, it's about it. Only thing I pulled out of my education that I use today. The rest of it was a big waste of time. My opinion. Should you go to school? Yes. Should you get a degree? I don't know. There's a point where if you're doing what you're doing during the day and going to school at night like I did, there's really a point that it's not that you know it all, but you can finally apply it to what you're doing and stop going to school. I think continuing education and seminars and things like that, as long as it's not a sales pitch, is imperative to keep up with the times and in changing technology in whatever industry you're in. You should do that. But just think for yourself. Read books. Read other people's opinions. Find out if the moon's a fucking satellite or a big thing of green cheese or just a rock that's in perfect mathematical calculations and equations and the same side shows no matter what to the earth and all this other crap. And it's just all coincidence. I don't really care. But learn. Be kind. Be compassionate. Be open-minded. And stand for something. Because if you don't, like they say, you're going to fall for anything. So thanks for listening to me. I got to go. I will try my best to be on here at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. If I'm not, it's because I'm busting my ass making the donuts, trying to pay the bills. So, but I will get on here, especially with the election coming up. I don't really want to specifically talk about it, but I want people to be aware and prepared for some crazy shit because it may happen, and that concerns me. Survivability is the most important thing, and keeping your sanity, even though we're talking about the moon being a satellite. Only here, okay? So I got to go. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to the show. Share the show. And how do I turn that thing off? I can't remember. Say goodbye to the chat room. Let's try this one. What's this stream about? I have no idea. You find out, let me know. It's a show about nothing. And anything that comes up. It's called the Original Red Pill Show, based from the Matrix, for people to wake up. Whatever that means. That's a self-proclaimed title of waking up and finding out what's really going on, or what you think is really going on. 2008 meltdown woke me up with bailouts and certain people getting bailed out while us peasants lost our jobs and our houses and everything else. and Wall Street got rewarded and banks got recapitalized. That's wrong. That's not capitalism. And other things that pertain to that, and makes you think maybe everything I was told was a fucking lie out of manipulation and indoctrination to be an employee. Because after all, from what I know, the Rockefellers are the ones that came up with the education system. Gee, what a better way to program people to be employees and not think for themselves and possibly become business owners. I don't remember one class in high school telling me how to be a business owner, or college for that matter. That's what this show's about. So it's not about incels? What the hell is that? What's an incel? I don't know. I don't know what that is. 42 degrees in Washington. Oh, man. I don't want to talk about the weather per se because I when I was in bad weather or whatever you want to call it, and somebody said, oh, it's 86 degrees here and it's like sunny, it's like, well, you're an asshole. I don't really want to hear about it. But why in God's name people stay in cold climate beats the hell out of me. I know you're anchored and you're tied down and you have family and responsibilities and a mortgage and all that crap. And I did it once upon a time too. So I have the ability to pack it up and say goodbye. Space Force. What are you getting into here? I didn't see this stuff. The Prime Directive, and we're talking about Star Trek now. Non-interference of free will and evolution agreement. I like that. I wish we did go to that. Totally forget about money and... Because what you're talking about is a form of socialism that actually works. But there's no pecking order or monetary control with the Prime Directive. I don't have a problem with that. But we'll never do that. Because nobody has power over anybody else to manipulate them. But that would be nice. What else? Okay, there's some stuff on here. I will always talk about time travel and UFOs and the moon landing, whether it was fake or real, the moon, just far out shit. I really think it's very fascinating. But I'm not on a mission to prove or disprove anything. Just eventually the answers and the truth will come out. But nonetheless, it's kind of fun to take that journey without going crazy or being obsessed with it or trying to convince others. One thing that happens when you wake up, you try convincing other people. And I can tell you that is a futile attempt. You'll just be labeled crazy, insane. You're a crockpot, you're crackpot, whatever. Crockpot's what you make food in. But you're just crazy. It's much better to try to make people think. And that's what I do. Originally, I tried waking people up. And I even had a friend a couple months ago when I was in Illinois. He said, I remember you talking 10 years ago about Alex Jones and this and that and this is and sure shit, that's what's happening. I go, yeah, no shit. But see, that's for you to decide. Snowing in Wyoming. I saw Wyoming's getting pounded. No, it's not a conspiracy show. What's a conspiracy? I don't know. 3 or more people think the same thing or do something against somebody? No. No, this is an awakening program. This is watch The Matrix, watch Neo swallow a red pill, and watch Neo wake up. That's this show. For you to wake up. If you just want to be a lemming and swallow a blue pill and live in illusion, then this show's not for you. This show is more of an inter-awakening, an ascension to what may be or could be or is. Think of it like a self-growth higher level critical thinking time to wake the fuck up show. If you're going to watch CNN or Fox or anything and you're going to believe what you're being told, then you're a blue pill person. If you're going to watch CNN and Fox News and are saying two different things and you don't go, wait a minute, either you're lying or you're both lying, and somewhere lies the truth. That's this show. Yeah, I saw Cheyenne's getting pounded with snow. And then Fort Collins and then Loveland, and was going to go all the way down to Denver. But they need snow because Colorado's on fire. And that just breaks my heart. And I guess it was really dry. And that place was on fire when I left 2.5 months ago. But it was down by Grand Junction and all that, way down south. Aspen, all that. I don't know if it's the same fire. God forbid, I hope it's not. And it's made its way that far north. That's a lot of shit to burn, man. That's really sad. That's a lot of nature being burned to the ground. But yeah, Estes Park is on fire. I saw it on the weather, a weather channel that I watch. So. Okay, good. Liberty Bell ringing. Well, if you're so awake without sounding like an asshole, why don't you do a show on here? Get a hold of Scarlett or Mel, and there's a slot for you. Scarlett told me there was 19 people that are going to start a new show on this network. So there's no agenda here or anything, and there's no... I mean, if anything, you might say it's against the New World Order, and I don't want to get into this. Because there's a new world order, there's a one world order, so I was told. And it's really a fight between the Vatican and the Illuminati. And I don't want anything to do with that shit. So that's what I was told by somebody that I don't even know was either real or fake or just batshit crazy. But I was told that. So I don't know what's going on. I just know we're not a republic and we're not a democracy anymore. It's under the illusion thereof. And as more time goes by, our rights are being taken away or diminished or inflicted upon for the betterment and security of us all. I don't think that's the correct way to handle this. 9/11 and what was done for our protection and security is very similar to the response of this COVID-19 crap. It's for your own good. It's to keep you safe. Really? Why did the virus come from China? Who was involved in it? And why is it here? And why didn't you fuckers do anything about it? Except always react and infringe on our rights, i.e. 9/11. Why? And then instead of somebody getting fired or held accountable, they create more government departments. Really? I mean, come on, think about it. So that's this show, okay? Just why? Why are you doing it that way? What are you covering up? What's the real reason why 9/11 happened? And what's the real reason and story how this virus even got to China? Why the fuck they're playing around with it? Why you're trusting a communistic government that has very little or no human rights for its own people, and it gets out, and you don't really do anything about it, except tell us you can't work, you can't enjoy your life, your freedoms and rights are taken away, or you're going to die, or you're going to kill people. Does that make any fucking sense? Don't worry about being shy. I hear that all the time. Believe it or not, I had a problem speaking in front of people or doing this. All I can say, it's an evolution, and you start by recording yourself. Back in the day, it was on a cassette recorder, and you're like, oh my God, that's horrible. Today, you can do it on a computer with Audacity. It's a free program. Get yourself a cheap-ass microphone and practice. I mean, I've been doing this 12 years, and I don't say that with any pride or whatever. It's just a fact. And I've evolved, and hopefully the show's evolved from way before when it started. But being shy could be a good thing. But all I can tell you is this. Every time I have a show, like I got somebody, John X, what is it? John XST? John X? I don't know. Whatever he or she wants to be called. What's the show about? And then when I have people on, what are we going to talk about? I have no idea. If you just come on, be yourself. But don't be yourself. This show's, again, like Seinfeld, The Matrix. You know, it's a show about nothing. It's about trying to find out what reality truly is. Is all this an illusion? Whatever. What's really going on? You have to be a pseudo of yourself. This isn't me. This is me. Here we go with the crazy stuff. It's me, but it's not me. Just like Saturday Night Live. Or if you think Keanu Reeves is Neo in real life, you better go to the psychiatric ward, okay? Because when you do this, you're a personality. So this isn't me, but it's me. And then if you have nothing to talk about yourself. But people have a boundary with that. Well, I can't talk about me because you might be accused of being a narcissist and making it about you. But don't make it about you. Just talk about your experiences and how you came to be and what you think and your opinions and why you think that way. Because then, in my opinion, it makes people question themselves. I'm not trying to wake anybody up. I gave up on that a long time ago. I tried saving my family and my employees and people that I really loved and cared about, and they just labeled me as nuts. So it's like Chicken Little and the sky's falling. You know, you're just like, what are you talking about? And I don't see it. And if people don't see it, they don't even see chemtrails, and they're looking at them. I can't make you see anything. But what I can do is present things to you to question why and what if. And for me, it's been different things. For me, it was the meltdown and people getting bailed out that should have went to prison. And people losing their homes and their businesses, kind of like today, except instead of a meltdown, financial meltdown specifically, it's a pandemic. So it's a pandemic plus 2008. Why? Well, good for you, Liberty Bell. Sees the chemtrails. Well, good for you. But it's just jet vapor exhaust, so you have nothing to worry about. Just watch the video by G. Edward Griffin, What in the World Are They Spraying? See, that's what I'll say. I can't sit here and tell you chemtrails exist and this is what they're made of and this is what they do, and because it just makes me look like an asshole. But I can say, well, have you ever heard of G. Edward Griffin? And watch his movie, What in the World Are They Spraying? I don't know. I mean, if you really, really want to make up your own mind and not being told what to think, then watch the fucking movie. Okay? And listen to InfoWars and Alex Jones and Joe Rogan and anybody that is not mainstream media. Because they're all connected and they all have an agenda, in my opinion. They're paid to convince you to tell you the way and convince you the way that they want you to see it. I have no doubt. But then you don't have free will, you don't have freedoms, you don't have liberties because you're being told how to behave. Yeah, geoengineering. Yeah, right. I mean, they're having a hell of a time in Hawaii by listening to that movie with all the chemicals they're putting in the chemtrails, and supposedly it's to stop global warming, which I don't believe in for the least bit. Or it's particles up there to transfer the energy from HARP. Now, if I say all that and I try to convince you that's what it is, I'm a crackpot. I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is. But you can do your own homework and figure that out, what you think it is. But when it all comes down to it, you have to figure out who's pulling the strings and what the agenda is. And you're probably going to find out there's been kings and queens since the dawn of time. And a bunch of people from England said enough is enough, and they came to this country. And this country was for the people, by the people, we the people. It was a republic. England has a reputation for trying to conquer the United States. I'm being very vague here. They can't do it. They can't do it from the outside. But they can do it from the inside. That's where you need to learn about what the Federal Reserve is. Because in my opinion, we're being conquered from the inside, and you don't even know it. Do your homework. Read The Creature from Jekyll Island, again by G. Edward Griffin. In The Gold Standard and everything else. If you really think that we are a republic and a democracy and your vote counts, see, that's a whole other thing too. This is going to be an interesting election. If your vote counts and it's really the power of the people and the will of the people, and it stops with your elected servants and you're nuts. You're crazy. And then you start, the CFR comes in, United Nations comes in, then Agenda 21 comes in. And all this stuff comes in. And that stuff shouldn't even be part of the United States. We're not even supposed to be dealing in that respect with foreign entities, but we do, which are unconstitutional. You need to make up your own mind what's going on. Yeah, Alex is pretty intuitive. He's really losing his shit right now. I was actually listening to him earlier this morning, and he probably motivated me a little bit to come on. But he's like directly in your face, and then he's got all documents and stuff to back up what he says. Because he couldn't go on and say what he says without getting in big, more trouble than he already is. But Alex Jones woke me up. I did an internet search when I woke up after 2008. And that was at the point where the Amero was going to be released, and Alex Jones popped up. And I'm like, oh, this guy's crazy. But now I listen to him like it's just like listening to the news. So, and if he wasn't a threat, then they would just leave him alone. But he's been banned. David Icke's been banned. Everybody that hits a nerve has been banned. And then, of course, you're seeing that you're being banned by social media because you don't meet the community standards. If you say something about the current situation with what's going on with the Bidens, you can't express that view. So, come on. I mean, really? For 4 years, 3.5 years, we listened to the Russian collusion bullshit with President Trump. And everybody hammered him to a pulp. But that was allowed? And not one shred of evidence? I mean, come on. Really? Does that really honestly just make any sense? No. But there's a lot of stuff going on. Fluoride in the water, blah, 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 blah. And something's going to resonate with you. What's it? Kodak elementarism. They're fucking with the food. GMO. I mean, right now, the big thing is the monetary system, your job, and controlling you with fear with this COVID-19 thing that exists. It exists. I'm not saying it don't. But it's all about control. So you have to decide if it is that and if you're going to be part of it. Because once we lose our freedom and liberties, like Ronald Reagan said, we're never, ever going to get them back. Ever. Yeah, that's true, Liberty Bell Ring. And it is sad what they've done to the truthers. And I work with some people. This is a hobby, okay? And I work with some people at another network that were hell-bent on becoming very popular and successful, and they have. And they were dumb enough, and I'm just going to call it the way it is, and I see it. They were dumb enough to put all their monetization and their income into things like YouTube. And when YouTube demonetized them, they were struck. If you really want to hurt somebody, go after their wallet. And that's what they did. You can't talk if you can't eat. You're going to think twice if you're going to lose all your materials, your house, your material possessions, your house, your car, your livelihood. That's one real quick way to straighten your ass out. Why would they do that? If it's the First Amendment and freedom of speech, I don't care whose platform it's under. You have the right to say that. Do I think Trump has been a good president? Is that a yes or no? If it's a yes or no question, I would say yes, I think he's been a really good president. He hasn't been able to do his job, though, because he's been crucified for bullshit Russian crap. Which now Joe Biden conveniently blamed this whole laptop from hell thing on the Russians. I mean, come on. Come on. Is that going to be my excuse for things in my life? Well, it's got to be the Russians. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't get blamed for COVID-19 somehow. Yeah, I think President Trump has been a good president. Yes, I do. He's not been perfect. Nobody has, though. I don't think he's a racist. I don't think he's a xenophobic. I don't think he hates women, misogynist. I don't think anything of the kind. I do think, this is my thing with the president. I know how it is and feels to be destroyed from the inside. The outside's normal, that's life. When you start being destroyed from the inside, from your constituents, your working partners, and the only thing that hasn't happened to Donald Trump that's happened to me is your family destroys you. And by the grace of God or whatever you believe in or whatever, if this man was as evil and maniacal that they say that he is, then his family, any moral, ethical person would disown him. And nobody's disowned him from, yeah, he's been married to quite a few times. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his kids. I'm talking about people that are real close to him. The people that don't like him and his family have thrown him under the bus. But if a person is that evil, then pretty much a whole family would turn on him. I have no doubt. You wouldn't want to associate with somebody like that, would you? I wouldn't. I don't. I haven't. I've thrown all my dysfunctional people out of my family, which is quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit. But I get so concerned because forget about the person. That's the president of the United States. And when you dishonor and beat down and humiliate and target a person that has a role of leadership, you're not only destroying the person, you're destroying the organization and or the country. The collateral damage is going to be immeasurable. It's destroying the country. I didn't like Clinton. I didn't really like Obama. I didn't like both of the Bushes, but I still respected that they were the president of the United States because of the position. I respected my dad. I necessarily didn't like my dad, but he was my dad. If I tried destroying my dad in the family role, I would have destroyed my family. You're doing the same thing with the president of the United States. You're destroying our democracy and our country, whether you want to admit that or not. This man is our president. He's our leader. You don't have to agree with him, but you do have to have his back. Now, if they're doing something totally maniacal or totally corrupt or apparent, because that's what got us in trouble with Hitler. And I say us collectively as a human race, that's what got Germany in trouble. He damn near conquered the planet because he was annihilating people, killing them, destroying them, exterminating them. So you have to draw a line in the sand. But the things that they've done to Donald Trump doesn't justify that action. It's being twisted that that's what he's doing, when all he's really doing is enforcing the laws that are on the books, i.e. immigration, illegal immigration, which is fucked up. And the only reason why they keep it that way is because people of power tell people to come in this country and they'll protect them, even though they're breaking the law, so they can retain their political power. So these people that they helped break the law to come into the country for a better life will vote for them. That's it. That's what this show is about right here. There's a reason why the government was nice to the Native American Indians and threw them on reservations and kept them drunk and totally pillaged those people so they could take their land. Then there's a reason why they're doing it to African Americans and black people, putting them in projects and saying, well, you can pop out more kids, ma'am, just don't marry the daddy. We'll give you even more money and a link card and everything else. What kind of environment is that when you got kids growing into it and they got no life and no future, so they become gang bangers and gang members selling drugs, and they end up killing each other because of their territories are violated? What kind of future is that? All for fucking votes. Well, now the black people, according to Candace Owens, is going down in the birth rate. So now we're going to target the Hispanics, which is probably one of the biggest growing ethnic background people coming into the country. Oh yeah, we'll take care of you. Just sneak in here. We'll give you sanctuary. We'll give you a driver's license again. Yeah, right. Until the Hispanic community isn't big enough to support their vote to keep them in power, and they'll go after the Asian people or whoever's next. I don't know. This is all about power and control. And if you're dumb enough to fall for it, then you get what you deserve. But if you really think about it, go back to the Constitution, look at it without any type of malice or any type of tribalism. Well, I'm a Democrat and I'm a Republican. I give a flying fuck what you are. You're a human being and you're an American. That's how you have to think. And the answers will come. But like Ronald Reagan said, the most scariest thing you can hear is a person from the government saying, hi, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help. President Reagan said that. My worry is going to happen if and when the military brings out a vaccine. That's pretty vague with posse comitatus. I don't know if mandatory vaccinations are, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. The vaccination, if this thing is based on the cold, it's a cold that's been genetically altered that has SARS in it and all this other crap. There's never going to be a vaccine for the cold. Or the flu, for that matter. There is for the flu, but there's so many different strains of it that the chances of you getting the right one is a long shot. And I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm just saying what I know, in my opinion. If you're lucky enough to get the right strain for what they think is going to be the strain for that winter or flu season, then I guess you'll build antibodies to fight it, and you won't have it as bad or get it at all. In some cases, you'll get the flu. I don't know. I don't know if there is a vaccine for this thing that's going to work, from what I know. I'm not anti-vax. I'm not pro-vax. I'm not going to talk about that. I just don't know if you can come out with a vaccine for COVID-19. I'm not getting it. I haven't had a flu shot or none of that shit. I've had my shots for vaccinations. The most recent one was for hepatitis because I had to go to Asia to see my son over 10, 12 years ago. And it was highly suggested that you get that if you're going to go to South Korea, so I did. But I've had all the other shots for school and all that crap and everything else. So, I don't know. Again, you're listening to the government that's here to help. According to Alex Jones, there's cancer viruses and all this other kind of fucking crap in these shots. And if you read the insert, there's a chance that you could get killed if you take this shot. So, I don't know. I don't know. I just know I'm not going to take it. I'm not telling you to take it or not to take it. I'm just telling you it might kill you. And it might not do a goddamn thing. I don't know. I honestly don't think they know. Yeah, it is going to be interesting. But there's a doctor that talks about this thing, this shot, and she did some research on it. And there's some nanobot technology shit in there. And depending on how far you want to go, this thing changes or alters your DNA. And it actually turns you into a programmable being, which could possibly integrate with communications, i.e. 5G. I don't know. I'm just telling you what she said. See, that's why I think this evolves you to a certain level where you can listen to this shit and not react. Because once you finally wake up and get to a certain level, you'll be like, well, that. When I had a woman approach me and told me she was from the Illuminati, I just looked at her. And she goes, well, you didn't run away. And I said, well, you could tell me you're a fucking Martian. And I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to say yes or no or be manipulated by fear tactics. I don't know what it is. And I'm pretty convinced that what they're saying isn't exactly what it is. But I'm not going to be a guinea pig for it. What's my show schedule? I'm supposed to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. But due to my job that I just started last week, that's been conflicting. That's why I came on today. Because this is my day off. I probably put 70 some hours in work. Yesterday was my day off. I did what I wanted to do, which really was essentially cleaning and working out and chilling. And today I decided to do some things, and then I started my day doing this because I like doing this. There's a saying that something like evil only wins or prevails if good people say nothing. So, no offense, Liberty Bell ringing, but if you're shy, get over it. If you're a good person, which I believe you are, then do something. Get over your fears. Because if you just sit there and watch this shit happen, you got nobody to blame but yourself. So. But don't try to convince other people. Try to convince yourself. Don't try to convince other people. Try to convince yourself. And if you have that attitude and that philosophy, and then you talk about that, then you just might resonate with people that might want to do the same. But if I sit here and preach to you and tell you, oh my God, this is this and this and that and everything else and blah, 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 blah. It's all Illuminati control and this and that, and we're all fucked anyway. It doesn't matter. And the Rothschilds and all this shit and whatever, and they're trying to kill you with vaccinations. And here's the proof. And that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Try to convince yourself. That's it. I'm in the electrical repair field. That's what I do. You talk too much. I talk too much. I talk too much. Nobody wants to talk about it. You should hear the feedback I get. Oh, I've heard it. I have no doubt that. See, I was trying to. This goes back to 2012 when Planet X and Nibiru were coming around and all that kind of shit, and the Mayan calendar ended. And I actually bought, and I still have a shitload of storable food that I was buying for me and my family, which was me and my wife at the time and my son. And people thought I was crazy. And then I stumbled again on how the monetary system works, the gold standard was severed, how the Federal Reserve works, how Wall Street works, how all of it works. It's all a fucking scam. There's nothing behind it. It used to be gold backed. Now it's just backed by your stupidity and which is your trust in your labor. If we all quit working tomorrow, everything would collapse because the only thing that's back in this economy and our monetary system, well, debatable with oil, but is our labor because we're debt slaves. And I don't want to be that. I want to live my life. No, people don't want to hear it. But they sure got no problem calling you names. So, I have no doubt that part of my demise in my family and then in my business to some extent was because I woke up and I made the mistake of actually... See, if you try waking other people up, it means you care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't say shit, right? I wouldn't. But I was trying to protect and warn people, like the robot from Lost in Space. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Of course, it's what you're programmed to do. Being a male or a father or a husband, your job is to protect. But when some people don't have affinity with that or they're not awake, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It could be your mom. It could be your dad. It's a trust issue, and it's a leadership issue. And if you get to the level of marriage and family and kids, unless they're insane or a sociopath or a psychopath, you got to break ties. But if somebody's doing something for your own good and your protection and you're trying to provide for them and protect them and wake them up, that's different. That's not a narcissist. That's not a psychopath. And that's not a sociopath. But you'll be labeled that. You'll definitely be labeled crazy because you see things and feel things, if you're an empath, that others are not able to. It will get to the point where you'll predict. Here's a prediction I got, okay? And for some reason, it just came to me this morning making coffee. If these assholes can't protect our health through the air with airborne pandemics, you know what's going to be next? And this is just common sense. It's just common sense. You know what's going to be next? The water supply. What happens if some assholes are fucking around with biological warfare weapons? Might as well blame it on the Russians. They're going to fuck up the entire global planet water supply. And then how are they going to handle it? Well, they're going to take more of your rights away. Can't do this, can't do that, can't use water, can't live your life. It's all your fault. It's all your fucking fault. Just like this carbon bullshit crap and Biden saying, well, oil pollutes and oil does this and oil does that. No shit. It did from day one. Why didn't you guys listen to Nikola Tesla when he invented and was perfecting the transmission of wireless electricity? Well, no, because everybody was all engaged and put all their capital into oil in manufacturing fossil burning cars and running wires across the planet by J.P. Morgan, who bought a shitload of stocks in copper because that's what the lines are made out of. We had fossil fuel free, zero to no carbon footprint, whatever the fuck you want to call it, back in 1900. Tesla invented it and perfected it in Colorado Springs. But they shut him down and made him a crackpot because all these assholes wanted to give you a technology. They didn't care about the environment. They wanted to make fucking money. But see, now, for whatever reasons that I'm not aware of, maybe because we are running out of oil, I don't know. I keep hearing we got plenty. When I was in junior high school, they scared the hell out of us in science class that we're going to be out of oil in 50 years. No, or even less than that. 20 years, whatever they said. I don't know. So why would you suppress Tesla technology? Electric car, just type this after this dumb fucking show. Tesla's magic black box or Tesla's black box Pierce Arrow car. I don't know if the bots or the algorithms will pick that up, but it's there. Nikola Tesla put an AC motor, 80 horsepower AC motor in a Pierce Arrow automobile in upstate New York. Yanked the motor out of it, put in an 80 horsepower AC motor with his magic black box, and he drove the fucking thing everywhere in the early 1900s. Type Wardenclyffe Tower. See, so it's all. I didn't learn about Tesla in school. I learned Thomas Edison came up with the electrical system. That's not true. Tesla was pushing the DC current, whereas Edison, I don't know if I just misspoke. Edison was pushing DC. Tesla was pushing AC. Wireless transmission of electrical power, in my opinion, was invented and perfected by Nikola Tesla when he told J.P. Morgan, who financed the construction of Wardenclyffe Tower in upstate New York. J.P. Morgan's like, well, what's this thing going to do? And Tesla said it's going to give everybody free electricity. After JP Morgan heard that, because he didn't like the word free, he shut it down and they tore it down. The thing is that was essentially wireless internet and information. And on top of that, it would have powered all the gizmos wirelessly. No wires to your house, no wires to anything. It would have been done like radio transmission. Same technology. Except you would transmit power at a very high resonant frequency. The thing is, JP Morgan was too stupid to see that if you licensed every single fucking gizmo that worked with Tesla technology, he would have had, I don't even want to predict the amount of money that guy would have had. If every single electric gizmo was licensed through Tesla, i.e. JP Morgan, are you fucking kidding me? It's all in the name of money and greed and power. And not to mention these third world countries that can't get electricity and sewer and fresh water, when if you could just get electricity by sticking something in the ground and putting a gizmo on it and power a water pump or power a sewage system, have lighting, whatever you need, you could get it transmitted around the globe in every part of the world. Wouldn't matter. But no, we can't do that. So I find it offensive when someone starts attacking me and saying I'm the problem causing global warming, when you're the one that suppressed green technology from Nikola Tesla, and you shoved this fossil fuel carbon crap up my ass. And do you really truly believe that the best gas mileage a car can get is 40 miles to the gallon? Why is the magic number 40? I have a motorcycle that has a 1400cc engine in it. That gets 39. It should get 100. Why does an automobile only get 40 miles to the gallon? When I was in high school, somebody allegedly came up with a carburetor, forget electronics and fuel injection, a carburetor that got 100 miles to the gallon. And the gas companies allegedly bought it and bought the patent and made it go away. Why is that? Why is that? I'm not trying to convince you when I'm saying you have to think the way I do and it's the truth. I don't know what the truth is. I'm only telling you what I've heard. But one thing I do know is behavioral science. And I am not going to sit there and get a guilt trip for living my life and driving to my job or jumping on a plane or going on vacation, and you're making me feel guilty and you're going to carbon tax me because that's the technology that you provided to me to live my life. You can go fuck yourself. Why did you suppress Nikola Tesla? Why do you discredit Nikola Tesla? Why can't you find anything out about Nikola Tesla? And Thomas Edison is given the credit for electricity, period. That's not true. That's a lie. Why? This is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. The stuff I just brought up, do your own homework and convince yourself whether it's believable, factual, or not. That's your job. I'm trying to lure you to that, to convince yourself. You're not going to change the planet by making other people do what you want them to do. You're going to change the planet by you doing the right thing and being a good human, by changing yourself one person at a time. That's how society progresses. That's how the human race progresses. And that's how this place becomes a better planet. But the second you try to make other people do what you want to do is when you fail. Convince yourself. Either way, just convince yourself. Read, listen to the show, listen to alternative stuff, think, pray, meditate, work out, eat right, take care of yourself. It all comes from the inside out. It doesn't come from the outside in. Listen to other people. Love other people. I'm going to start sounding like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Be excellent to one another. Whatever. But if anything, convince yourself. And I'm going to end the show. The whole go to school, get a job, get a degree, get married, have kids, live at the same, well, that too, live in the same town forever, work at the same place forever, get a retirement, and you'll live happily ever after. That's a lie. It's a fairy tale. That's people that are in power using you as a slave of employment, as a wage earner, for them to excel, not you. That's all bullshit. That's all a lie. And if you have the attitude, like Ronald Reagan said, not me, the government is there to help you, Wrong. The government is there for us, and we tell them what to do. That's a republic. And if you don't, you're out. You're voted out. But it's so fucked up and corrupted and manipulated now that they scare you in convincing them for them to retain their power, and they're in power for 40 years. And not a fucking thing has changed. So, all right, so that's it. I could go on and on and on, but the thing is, there's never nothing to talk about. And when I come on here to talk about, 9 times out of 10, I don't even talk about it. And I use the chat room, and I use the vibe, and I use the domino theory, as I want to call it, that pops into my head because it's all connected. But if you want to wake up or you're waking up, this is the place for you. But I'm not trying to convince you of anything. There's a lot of great people in this network. There are some things that I've made clear that I don't agree with. And I'll say it again. I support what the BLM movement is. I do not support the violence and the hate towards law enforcement and the violence and burning people's shit to the ground. Do not agree with that. I never will agree with that. But I do agree with you sticking up for your rights and what you believe in. And I do believe you have to say enough is enough. That I do believe it in principle. But it's the actions that you take. And here's a perfect example where the BLM is trying to convince you of what they think should be done. And if you don't agree, you're targeted and your shit's burned to the ground. And they want to defund you. That's not going to solve anything. That's not going to solve anything. Try to figure it out for yourself, convince yourself, and then make your life better and become a better person. Then things will get better for everybody. That's it. I'm done. Even though it's Sunday, I feel like I'm preaching. It's what? 11:19. I want to go. It's noon. I want to go have some fun. Thanks for listening to me. Share the show. Some of you guys shared the show. Check people out on this network. Dwayne's got a great show at night. Night Talk, I think it's called. Scarlett has Clarity After Midnight. She's only on it Friday night. And there's some other shows. I can't really keep track. I got a hard enough track keeping track of my show. But I'm on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to wake up and you want to think, this is the place for you. If you're in the position that you are awake, sounds like Liberty Bell is, and she's trying compassionately to convince others, turn them on to this show. I'll do that for you. Because you're just going to be targeted and labeled a fucking nut job. And you don't need that. I've been through a lot. It's all experiences and opinions based on those experiences and what I've done. I have no regrets. I want to find out the truth. I want to live life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness without hurting anybody else. But I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be used. And I'm not going to sit here and watch this country get destroyed by bullshit. And I am going to defend the President of the United States. I don't care who it is, unless they're doing something that totally goes against, with facts and proof. Like if we delve right into socialism, I'm out. I'm not supporting that. That just leads to Hitler, world domination, starvation, and death. I don't want anything to do with that. So that's it. That's all I got. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. Share the show, and I will be back. You have been listening to the original Red Pill Show.